Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I want to really thank you for clicking on my video today. I appreciate your time. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so very much. My channel just continues to grow and it just warms my heart so much. I love to just chit chat about my crochet with my friends, and that's the kind of little homey environment that I kind of wanted to create here. So thank you for coming along and being part of my journey. Today what I wanted to share with you is kind of a remake of the Pixie Shawlette by Moogly that I've already shown you that I made here. This is done with 1 weight fingering weight yarn, and you use a 4mm hook. But I was so in love with this other project where I held together 2 strands of fingering weight yarn and worked it like DK. And the 2 skeins were the same color as each other, except not quite the same. So it gave a very marbled look, kind of a heathered look in places, kind of some darker and some lighters. And it really just made such a squishy, lushy, yummy feel to the shawl that I made. So I decided to do that again because I had this purple that they call Lavender Dusk. And out of 2 hanks, I have just this little bit left. These are each 420 yards, and it's recommended to use a 3.25mm hook. But again, if I were using 1 strand by itself, I would go up to a 4mm hook, as I did on this one. And then holding the 2 together of that Lavender Dusk gave this to me. So it's the same pattern as the Pixie Shawlette here, only much bigger, as you can tell, because I held the 2 together. But I just absolutely love this pattern. It's very easy to do, very mindless. You just do repeats through double crochets and then some spaces with some chain spaces with a double crochet little peekaboos. But I really like, these are, you do this in both loops. This is not a back loop only project, but it still gives you like this line, kind of gives you a little bit of a definition, in my opinion, a little bit of texture. And I just really appreciate the pattern quite a bit. You can see the different colors, and this one turned out so pretty as well. I just absolutely loved it. But I gotta be honest, after working with these 2 together again and making such a big project, a big shawl, when I put this one on to kind of start the video up and get going with this, I really like this size much better. So if you have any, I think either variegated or a solid that's a 1 weight, I would highly suggest this pattern. It is a Moogly pattern, and she uses a Red Heart Crochet. It's a little bit older of a pattern, and I'm not familiar with that yarn, which is a cotton polyester metallic mix. But I used this Anique yarn for this one, and then, like I said, this was 2 of the Yarn Bee hand-dyed superwash merino. So this was a whole lot of fun. I used a 5.5mm hook for this project, and it just zip zooms right along. So it's one of those that you can wear it so many ways. It gives you a lot of options, but if you want more of it in front or more of it in back or up around your head. Now, I didn't even block this one yet, and it's behaving very nicely. See those lines? Like, I could not have imagined. Well, now you lose it. When you hold it just right, you can see the base of those double crochets, and it just adds a texture that you weren't even doing. You didn't even have to do a goofy bobble stitch or, something special. Nothing special, just those double crochets. So, of course, I will link this down below. And so, again, if you're one who wants more of it in the front, that can go around, and then you can be all bundled up like this, or you can really, move it all around, all the different ways. So if you're going to pick that up and work on it, I would love to hear about it, what kind of yarn you used, because this is going to be, we all need those kind of go-to patterns when you've got a certain kind of yarn. Jude, this was Llamas in Pajamas little tidbit for me to really find a pattern that you like, and then you'll always know when you're finding new yarn how much you need to buy based on like your favorite pattern. If you don't know anything else what you're going to do with it, at least you'd have enough to work on your favorite pattern. So I very, very much enjoyed this pattern. I know I'm going to be working on it again. I hanked up this green, and this one's called Hazel Basil. And I was showing this to you guys before, how it's got like little spits of different color. Like, I think that was a mistake. It's certainly not, it certainly didn't have those colors, you know, bled through the whole yarn. So I was like, okay, are the rest of these kind of variegateds, they have no green in them. So I was wondering what I might do with that, but this would be the perfect pattern for that, because the smaller size is so nice, and we already know how much I like this yarn. So if you've got that and you're going to work on it, you know, if you're going to work on this pattern, let me know. Okay. Something else that I worked on, this is a little bit warm, so I'm going to take that off now. Something else that I worked on is, you know, I'm standing here staring up at my wall and trying to figure out what I want to work on next, and things are still, we're moving along with the kitchen. We've got flooring, we've got cabinets. Now we have to wait 2 weeks for the counter people to come in and do their measurements and go and cut the countertop and bring it in and install it. So we're kind of on a hiatus, or, you know, a stoppage from the work itself, but the construction team did give us permission to load up the cabinets with our stuff, bring the stove back into the kitchen, you know, maybe just put a plywood across the top of the cabinets and use them as cabinets. So we're really, really excited about getting all of these other, the other 2 rooms that we've been squished together to get back, you know, put things where they belong and live like normal lives. But anyway, so I'm standing here looking at the wall, trying to get some inspiration. What am I going to do? What am I going to work on? What haven't I touched for quite some time? And, you know, there's a couple of different brands. Caron has a Simply Soft, and Loops and Threads has this soft and shiny. You know, it's any one of this. It's a worsted weight, and it's 100% acrylic, but it's just kind of soft and shiny and silky and slippery, and so it kind of reminds me of like the Landscapes yarn and the Unforgettable yarn. It's kind of like that, if you've ever worked with those. But this was a pattern that so this skein is called Robin's Egg. I picked it up. It's normally $4.99. I picked it up on clearance for $2. It was the only one sitting there, so they're just trying to get rid of it, kind of thing. So I grabbed it, knowing that I've got some others up there that are kind of variegated, and some other light pastel-y colors that maybe I'll put something together with. And so in looking up at my wall, I'm trying to decide, they're all light colors, but this one sort of, you know, sometimes a blue, like with Frozen, blue gives you that icy feel, the cold feel. So thinking wintry time, you know, I wanted to make something with it. If I didn't like it, I didn't want to be committed to a big project. So, and I just had that one skein. So I put together, well, I saw a video for this by Sarah Sach, S-A-C-H. I don't know if Sack. And so it's a nice little pattern. It's got like these little peekaboos. You could make it as long as you'd like. So it's a nice little, you know, close-up thing. It doesn't hang right, in my opinion. I don't know that I would use this yarn. I think, if I'm using my brain, I think she used a Vanna's Choice. But there was a little bit more structure to the yarn. This one is just loosey-goosey. So it's nice for wraps and stuff. But if you wanted a little bit more structure here, either I made this way too big, or it's just not the right type of yarn for it. I like the pattern. I'm going to say, but I kind of don't get part of it. Right off of the bat, my count was different than hers. She has you do a chain of, the multiple is 30 plus 9. And then when you do a single crochet in the second, it gives you 38 stitches. For this pattern, that was one too many. So I went, for me, the way I counted, and I counted 15 times. So I did 30 plus 8, which then single in the second gave me 37 stitches. If you're going to work it, try the math. I don't know. But so it's cute. Now see, okay, so part of it is that you start with a row of single crochets. So you've already got like a border to it. So when I finished and I came around, I felt like I had to match that, but now I just have this huge hunkin' line in the middle of the cowl. So kind of don't understand that. Maybe Maybe would have left it separate and done it just as a scarf. It's a cute little pattern. There's like these little bow ties on the end. And so that's the other thing, because there's not structure to this. I wouldn't normally block acrylic. It doesn't really hold very well, but you kind of need to be able to see these cute little bow ties here. And then you're doing a cluster stitch here. So it comes up and then comes back down to the bow ties again. So again, with the fact that you've got 4 double crochets around the edges, gives you a really nice border, if that's something that you're looking for. So, you know, it was one of those. I gave it a try. I don't hate it. It doesn't lay like I would like it to. Does it pass for wintry colors? If you're thinking frozen and ice and water and stuff, maybe it does. I just won't tell you that it's called robin's egg, like for spring. So then I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll make a hat to go with it and kind of keep it like as a little set or something. So I kind of went to my Ruby Stedman hat, which you guys may know is the Divine hat. And I don't know that I've ever made that hat with this kind of silky, shiny, slippery type yarn. So I only just started. I only just got this far. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I got other things to do and moving on, but maybe I'll keep the robin's egg for springtime. I'm not sure. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to share with you today is one of my go-tos blankets is a pattern called Hooked by Robin. And I originally found this pattern because I was looking for my Caron Big Cakes. I was looking for a pattern to use with that, and that's what she used with this pattern. So now I've gone back to that to use the rest of my Caron Big Cakes in different stages when I need something to work on and I just can't find something new. I'm not inspired by something new. I'll pick up, because I still have a lot of that yarn. So this is a previous make that's in that pattern. I absolutely love it. You've got 5 double crochets here, and then you do a cluster that's 4 double crochets, 2 chains, and then another double crochet in that same spot. So those two chains creates your spot to where you're going to put that cluster in the next row, and then it's just a repeat all the way along. So I really, really like it. I've worked it up. I think I've done 5 or 6 blankets in this pattern in different self-striping yarns. And so you can either go through and color control if you want to, but that was not my intention. It's usually not my intention. I'm looking to see, did I do that in this case? Maybe I did. I don't always, and that bothers some of you. I've known you posted. We'll see right here. No, see right here. You can see how it's, whoops, it's changing from blue to green. Sorry, trying to hold it up. Right here. It changes on this cluster. It changes from blue. We're going along this side on the blue, and then it changes over to the greener color, the yellow color, whatever that is. So no color control in this guy. And if that's something that's going to bother you, I mean, that's what self-changing yarn is kind of about, in my opinion. But I have used it in striped patterns before, and then you just got a lot of ends to tie in. Anyway, so the Big Cakes by Caron are similar to the Ogos. Okay, I should have had that out already. I'll just get this one. These Ogos are 9.9 ounces, and I think the Big Cakes are like 10.5 or something. But these are the colors that I'm working with. I have a couple of these, and I have used 2 of these in a blanket before, plus a little bit more for the border, and it's a nice size. But I wanted to incorporate one more color with this donut. I've got so many of these that I've got lots of leftover scraps from other projects, and I'm trying to incorporate those with same yarns. So I picked up this blue, this really light blue from a previous Ogo, and this is what I am putting together. This is the project that sits next to my bedside, so I can just do it mindlessly, but I'm kind of in between things right now, so I picked it up and I worked the last row of the orange, all of this purple, and then this magenta just within a couple of hours of this morning. So, you know, whether it's my intention to get it done in chunks or not is another story, But I also reorganized the order of the colors. So at the bottom is the blue that I added from a different Ogo, and then I went yellow, and then I jumped way over to this purple on this side. And these two are sort of similar, which is why I wanted to separate them. So I've got the magenta down here, and then I put the orange, and then the purple is this one here. And then I put the magenta up at the top. Did I say that right? You can see the colors. I thought it's pretty cool colors. And then whether you do border or not, you know, or how you do your border, you can see that this one, how the border changes as you go. So that gives a little bit of a different look as well. If you want to color control the border, you always can. But I really like this pattern because Robin does a great tutorial, a great tutorial. She's one of my faves. But you see how it's like a scalloped top? You can leave it like that if you want to without a border. But she shows you how to square this off so that you can have a standard square border. And I really liked that part of it. So give that video a check. Check out that video if you haven't already. It's one of my favorite patterns that I work on when I've got, you know, I have no inspiration, no motivation, and I just have a bunch of yarn and I need to figure out what to do with it. So it's a good one if you want to do stripes as well. So stripes or chunks of color or whatever you want to call it. So, all right, that's what I've got to share with you today. Again, this is such a gorgeous result. I really enjoyed it, and it was from working on working with a one for the kind of the first time. Like, I'm intimidated too, but this one I was super excited about, and it just turned out amazingly. So there you go, folks. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you sitting with me. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and please come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.